Corona is a very serious virus. It is one of the most deadliest things that we've had to deal with in the 21st century. It is thought to be a combination of the SARS and the coronavirus, thus identified as COVID-19.
The coronavirus is incredibly serious because many people have lost their lives as a result of the virus or been affected financially and emotionally because of restrictions that have been put in place due to the pandemic.
COVID-19 is different from other illnesses and viruses because it is extremely contagious and it's very new. So the rate at which people are getting this disease is way higher than the rate at which people are recovering because it is difficult to find a viable solution.
It is highly contagious, it's airborne, and it can go undetected and you could contaminate somebody else without knowing it.
I think it's more dangerous for folks who already have health issues. So these include any lung illnesses or heart illnesses, especially I think if people are smokers, it's more difficult for them to recover from coronavirus.
If you get the common cold with a cough, it's not life-threatening, but COVID-19 can definitely be life-threatening.
Two biggest misconceptions about COVID-19 is one, that people who are young can't get the virus or are able to quickly recover from coronavirus. There's been a lot of cases that prove this wrong, and death rates that have proved this wrong. Also, these have proved wrong the idea that COVID-19 only affects certain races, so people based on their racial identity. This misconception is also dangerous because it reinforces the idea that race is a biological concept when it is more so a political invention and a social construct. So it does not look at the pre-existing conditions that racial minorities may face, for example, asthma and high blood pressure.
I know there were some people who were being prejudiced and saying mean things online, like if you were around certain ethnic groups, you would get the virus, or if you were from a certain ethnic group, you were immune to the virus, and that is totally not true.
This outbreak pretty much has taught me a lot about our society and how each of us differ in the way that we think and how we behave.
This outbreak has taught me to be grateful and thankful to God for health.
This outbreak taught me how to be more patient and kind and loving to people who are around me, especially if I'm around them for long periods of time.
I just learned on Saturday that a very dear friend of mine is in the ICU fighting for his life with corona.
People who I know that are my age have gotten the coronavirus, but they were pretty asymptomatic. They just had a small cough, or they didn't really know that they had the coronavirus. They were able to get tested and found out they did, and they were just put into quarantine, and now they're in the process of recovering, and it's going well.
Corona doesn't necessarily seem real until it touches you, and then all of a sudden you start to say, hey, this is serious.
I don't currently know anyone with it, but I know of one person who was young and got it, but has since recovered and is doing really healthy and well. And then another person who's an older person who isn't 100% sure that they had it, but they think they may have. But they're also doing much better physically.
One of the biggest misconceptions I think about this disease is telling the truth. one person says one thing and another person says something totally different. So as a nation, we're really confused. Should we wear masks? Should we not wear masks? Should we stay in? Should we not stay in? I think for the most part, we're doing a great job trying to do the best we can, but there are a lot of unclear facts about the virus itself, how it's spread, how are they going to treat it, can we get reinfected? And I think that causes a lot of anxiety in our society. I think until we find out those answers, we all probably need to stay put.
A lot of Americans may believe that they won't be getting sick from the coronavirus when that's not true. You can get sick from it. Everyone can get sick from it.
This disease does not discriminate, and I think it's just important for us to pray and ask God for protection and to do our best to stay safe and healthy and try to make sure that we're protecting ourselves and others.